Hi, thank you for joining me today. I'm going to show you another set of cards that I did with mass production using my MISTI. And this stamp is from the ton, and it is just gorgeous. I could not get over how pretty it was with some glitter embossing powder. So I'm going to get started with stamping with the MISTI, and your MISTI has this sheet of black foam in it. When you're using a rubber stamp, you're going to go ahead and take that out, and this is a rubber cling stamp, so that's what you need to make sure you use. And we'll just put that in the base of the MISTI, and you can see my magnets got stuck together, so I was just showing you how to separate them by sliding them apart. So I have my stamp in, and I noticed that it had something on the back of it, probably some of the embossing powder that I was working with to make my sample. So I just wiped it off and then closed the MISTI to pick up the stamp. And here I'm going to put my card stuck in. And I just went through my scrap bin for these cards today, so none of these are cut the same size. I'm going to trim them all down later, but I'm going to do my initial stamping, and then I will trim because this stamp is slightly bigger than an A2 front, so it's okay to go ahead and stamp and then cut. So, and one of the great things I like about the MISTI is that, as you can see here, I'm picking it up to hold it to light differently so that I can see if I got a good impression or not. And I missed a couple spots, so I'm going to go ahead and re-stamp. And the great thing is when you hold your piece of paper in place with the magnets, it won't shift, so that you can pick up your MISTI without having to pick up the paper, and that way everything will stay lined up if you need to re-stamp it after you take a look at it. So here I'm going to go ahead and apply some WOW embossing powder, and this is the WOW metallic gold sparkle glitter, and I like it. It's beautiful, but it's also similar to working with glitter, and that it left a mess all over my scrap room. So I'm a little bit nervous about using it, but it is certainly beautiful. And it also has supposedly has some properties to keep it from sticking to your paper. So I did not use a powder tool, but as you can see, it left some in the middle. There was some embossing powder that I did not want there. So I'm just going to take a brush and wipe it off and kind of tap the paper a little bit also to get rid of any excess. And in doing so, this was part of when I got glitter all over, which I was trying to be calm about. But fortunately, these little Swiffer I don't know what you would call them, Swiffer wipes, I guess. They work fantastic for picking up glitter. I need to use it on my floor too because this glitter got all over. But it sure is pretty, so I guess I'll have to just deal with the consequences of it. So I'm going to stamp quite a few more of these because this is a card that I figured was easy and it was mass producible. And so I'm just going to make about 10 of them. And if you happen to have a piece of paper that is not sized quite big enough to have the magnets hold it down, you can take a piece of Post-it tape and just stick it to the base of the MISTI. So the magnets can interfere with the stamping if you have them too close. So for some paper, it might be easiest to use a piece of Post-it tape to hold it in place. So I saw that that needed re-stamped, so I went ahead and re-stamped it, and I will put the embossing powder on, and off screen I heat set everything. My plug-in is far enough away from my work surface here that I couldn't reach the table with my embossing gun. So I've just done all my heat setting off camera, and my video gets kind of wonky here, and I apologize for that. It was crazy morning, kid troubles, and my memory ran out on my phone. I guess I shouldn't have been cheap and should have bought a bigger hard drive on my iPhone, but hey, you live and learn. And there goes my timer on my iPhone. So I'm just going to trim all these down to 5¼ inches by 4 inches. And I tried to trim off the thicker places. As you can see, the more solid places, they lost a lot of detail with the glitter embossing powder, so I tried to kind of trim more off on those sides as much as I could. So now I'm going to go switch to a clear stamp, and this is also from the ton, and I believe it's called Happiest of Peonies, and oh my goodness, it is just gorgeous as well. So I am going to put the card front on my MISTI and set the stamp where I want it to stamp, and I can close the MISTI lid to pick up the image. And this is just so pretty. I just can't get over how pretty this is. So anyway, and then I'm going to use some Versa fine onyx black ink to stamp. And I'm going to stamp it twice because I think I messed up and didn't get a quite perfect image. And as you can see, my MISTI is a little bit stained. I've had it for more than a year now, and I was very diligent at first to make sure that I cleaned it off perfectly every time, but after a year, it kind of just got a little bit stained, and I have decided that just shows love, that it shows that it's been well used, and it's just little markings of love, I guess. So now I'm going to switch my orientation to a vertical card, and I was having trouble getting this lined up. So rather than using the grid on the door, I always find that it's easier to use this quilting grid to get my images straight. I find it much easier to just place that on my card and line up rather than on the lid. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp the rest of these, and then I will score my paper. And some of these are going to be top folding, and some of them will be side folding cards of both orientations. So I'm just going to go ahead and score my paper at, oh, this was supposed to be deleted out. Well, how about that? I guess you get to see me scoring a lot of paper, which I kind of figured that most people, would already know how to score paper, but I messed up and didn't delete this out, and I don't know that I can edit it out while I'm doing my narration. So we're just going to roll with it. Okay, so, and again, I had more camera trouble. I am going to figure out a system how to do these videos. Great. I will get it. I will, because I am determined. So here I am just mounting my cards and putting them all together. And again, off camera, I cut my black paper and I cut it to be slightly bigger than the card face. So they are cut to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I just mounted those onto the white card bases that I had already scored. And I'm going to just speed this up. You can see me like flying. I wish I could really move that fast because I am totally results oriented and I like to get stuff done. But this just isn't reality. But oh, how happy it would make me if it was. So, and I left this blue one in here because, oh my goodness, this was just the prettiest color. And I just really, really liked this card. And in fact, I may never send this card out. So here is just a close-up of what we did. And thanks for joining me today. Have a great day.